In this video today, we're going to take a review of Dropbox and show you how to install it on your computer, your laptop, as well as your iPad. So Dropbox is essentially a cloud-based storage system where you can house your files in a centrally located server, so you can access them wherever you're at. You can access them on your computer, access them again on your iPad. You can edit docs, automatically add photos. Just put your stuff in Dropbox and it's pretty much going to be available anywhere you want it. So we're going to take a look at first how to install Dropbox, the companion software, on your computer. So what I want you to do is go ahead and pull up your Internet Explorer, and in the address bar you want to type in dropbox.com. And once the site has loaded, you either need to sign up or sign in. To sign up, if you haven't before, just click the blue sign up button and put your first name, last name, email, and then a password. Can be whatever you want, and then sign up there. So some of the regions in the country have a Dropbox for the region. If that is the case, you're just going to need to talk with either the manager in your region or some of your teammates and find out what that user password is and how to get involved. So if you've already have a sign in, which I do, so I'm not going to go ahead and sign up, just hit the sign in button and type your email and password to sign in. Let's see if we can get it right here. And it brings us into our Dropbox folder. To quickly stop here, if you are signing up for the first time after you create your username and password, it's going to prompt you to automatically download Dropbox onto your computer. So it'll be the same instructions, but if you're signing up for the first time, it's just going to automatically walk you there. Whereas if you already have a Dropbox login, you're just going to need to come up here to where your name is located, hit the arrow, the down arrow right beside your name, and hit install. And once you do that, it's going to bring you to this screen. We're going to hit the free download for Windows. And do you want to run or save Dropbox? We'll go ahead and run this program. So this is going to be the exact same screen as if you had just signed up. This is where Dropbox will bring you. So you will just hit run at this point. Once Dropbox has finished downloading the necessary files on your computer, it's going to bring up this pop-up box in the middle of your screen, the setup screen, and you just go ahead and hit the install button. Once that is finished loading, you're going to head and say, I already have a Dropbox account, because you have already created one. So we'll hit next there. We'll type in, again, our username and password. And hit next. And we got to make sure we get our username right, obviously. And what this is doing, it's pairing with the Dropbox server. So the next screen that comes up, guys, is going to be, what do you want the settings to be? Do you want a 2 gig, 100 gig, or 200 gig storage system? Honestly, for most of us, 2 gigs is going to be just fine. There's no reason to pay any money per month to get a higher rated storage system. 2 gigs should be just fine, especially if your Word, Excel files, PDFs, and that sort of thing. You're going to be just fine with the 2 gigs. So go ahead and just click through that, and then we're going to go ahead and do the typical setup as well. And and I'll show you where this is going to install the Dropbox folder. It's very easy to find. Most of you aren't going to see this screen. I have a Dropbox folder already, so we're just going to go ahead and merge it on for me, but most of you won't see it. It's just going to go ahead and download it for you. So after that is all set up, guys, there's a Dropbox tour that Dropbox will walk you through. Go ahead and just go through that if you like. We're gonna skip it for the purposes of this video, but it's there for your use if you wanna see that. And we'll just go ahead and finish it. And as you see, this little check mark is there for open my Dropbox folder right now. So we want to see where Dropbox put that folder, so we're gonna allow that to stay. And down here on the left hand side, you're going to see the Dropbox folder. It looks like a box, basically a box icon that says Dropbox right next to it. Basically what Dropbox has done when you choose the automatic setting, it's going to put it right in your favorites, right under your My Documents. So anytime you want to see that, guys, we'll go ahead and close this out. Down here is your Windows Explorer. So we'll just click on that. And then again, Dropbox is going to be right here on the left hand side, right under Documents. So that's where Dropbox will install the file folder for you. So guys, that's about it for installing the companion software onto your PC. Basically, what this means is Dropbox is now a location where you can store all of your files. And the reason it's important to store your files in Dropbox in this folder on your laptop is it means these files you put there are going to be available on any place you put Dropbox. So it's going to be available on your iPad, as we'll see later. You can even install it on your iPhone. You can install it on your Android phone if you have one. So basically, because it's a cloud-based storage system, these files are housed in a separate server, which makes the files available to you wherever you want them. So if you're going to save any files, if you're going to use them, whether they're Word, again, Excel files or PDFs, anything you want to see on all your different computer stuff, you're going to want to put it in this Dropbox file folder to make it available for yourselves. So the next thing we need to do is to download the Dropbox app on our iPads. So the process here for downloading your app on the iPad is the same one you would use for your iPhone. Android phone will be slightly different, but practically the same. So if you want to go ahead and download the Dropbox application on your iPhone, just follow these same settings. So personal preference, I like to have Dropbox on as many things as possible. Basically, I want to have my files available to me wherever I'm at, using whatever I'm using. So if I'm with a client and all I have is my phone, I want to still be able to access my files even though it's my phone. So your preference, my preference is to do all that I can. So if you haven't downloaded Dropbox on your iPad, go to your App Store and go up here into your search field and type in Dropbox and go ahead and search for it. And that's going to be the first icon or first app that pops up here on the top left. So you're going to see a free button there if you haven't downloaded that yet. If you haven't, go ahead and do that now and stop your video until you have it downloaded and then restart. So you can see I already have mine completed. So we're going to go ahead and go right to Dropbox. Find your Dropbox application wherever it has downloaded and just tap that to get into it. As you can see here, Dropbox is asking you for the same email and password as you put into your computer because it wants to sync your files for you. So we're going to go ahead and just type in our email real quick to get in, and we'll hit sign in. So if you haven't downloaded Dropbox on your iPad before and you haven't set it up, you're going to see this camera upload section pop up here before anything else. What this basically means is Dropbox will act as a server management system for your photos that you take on your iPad or your iPhone. So I do like to use this functionality. I like to take pictures of product that I've prepared for quality so they can get a better picture of what I've done out in the field. And this just makes it easy for me, to bring those photos into one central location for me to put them into my cases. So I would suggest you choose the only Wi-Fi section. We do have a limited amount of cell data that we get from Stryker every month, so I don't like to use that with photos. Photos can be very big, etc. So I wait till I'm in a Wi-Fi setting, and that's what this is saying here. Save your photos to Dropbox, choose the only Wi-Fi button, and then hit enable if that is something you want to do. So as you can see here on the left hand side, all of my files have populated into this Dropbox application. They mirror exactly what is on my computer, and the reason that is again, Dropbox is a cloud-based server system that allows you to put your files in one central location and access them from any computing system you have. Again, whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, your computer, whatever it is, the same files are available on all of your different computing systems. So we're going to go through this application just very quickly. On the bottom, there's your main button, bottom left. You can see here the box icon is selected. That's our main files. The one next to it, guys, is our picture icon, and that's where all the photos upload from my iPad into Dropbox. And as you can see, you can select on any of them and it'll bring that picture up. And basically, you can see here I took a picture of a Power Pro electronics assembly dongle with the terminal block wires that were slashed and causing me problems. So I took a picture of that for quality. So you can see that's how I use the photos in here. The next button over on the left, guys, is it looks like a star. It's your favorite files. You can start any file and that'll make it a favorite, and it's just easily accessible here in this section. I don't personally use it. And then the next one over is your settings, guys. You can change any settings you want here in Dropbox. So you probably won't really have to be honest with you, unless you want to basically unlink your iPad from Dropbox. You can do that here using that red button. So we'll go back into our files and take a quick look at a few things. If you just touch any file folder you have there, if you don't have any files, you're going to need to create some first. But we'll click our Stryker file folder, and you can see all the different files I have within that folder have loaded into Dropbox. And we'll just pull up this CSI file so you can see basically what it brings up. Now Dropbox here basically is acting like your Windows Explorer would on your computer. That's what this app does. So it allows you to view every file, but you can't really make edits within Dropbox. But Dropbox is used on your iPad to basically bring these files to other apps that you can edit these files in, and we'll go through that later. But Dropbox is definitely the key for bringing those files to your iPad, so it's important to have. Quickly, if you swipe from left to right here, guys, you're going to see more buttons pop up. If you hit this, again, right arrow coming out of this screen, you can see it's your export button. You can text this file, you can email it, you can Facebook it, which I wouldn't recommend doing, but all those options are available for you. If we click email here, it's going to generate an email link and we can send it to whomever we want. Albert Cruz is going to bring that up. If I sent this to Albert right now, he could click this link and he would have access to this file. So it's very handy if you need to send somebody a file from your Dropbox files. Right there, that's the way you do it. So we'll cancel this out. The next button over, guys, is your star button again, and this is where you make this file one of your favorites. If you go down to the favorites section down at the bottom, you can see this file has now populated into it, which we don't particularly want. So we'll swipe back and we'll unfavorite it, and there we go. The next icon over here is basically how we move files in Dropbox on your iPad. So once you've selected that icon, you can select any other folder you want this to go into, and we'll put this into the CSI box, choose, and that file has now gone into the field action folder. So CSI box, you can see this file now went into that folder. So swiping again from right to left, there's one more icon. It's the trash icon. If you want to trash this file, you're just going to go ahead and hit that trash button and then delete this file, and that file will be deleted out of your Dropbox. It's basically the same as any other computing function. If you want that file to go away, you just delete it. So a few more just very main and basic options here. There's 3 buttons right here on the top left hand side. You hit that button, it's more of a generic setting. You can upload, you can create a new folder into Dropbox, or you can edit. If you edit, It brings up multiple edit screens. You can just click more than one file. Basically, you can move or delete, kind of the same way as your mail application. So we'll cancel this out because we don't want to do that. From here, you can also email like a specific folder, so that's a little more broad as far as sharing than just one file. You can share a whole file, etc. So, and then the same thing pretty much applies here on the top right hand side. If you select a file, you're going to see these options come up over here as well, guys. Again, this is just redundant. It's sending files, it's favoriting files, etc. So one last option to show you over here, guys, is this button on the very top right. It looks like a down arrow into like an inbox. Basically, you can use this file to open in different applications, and this is something that we'll use later and we'll show you how to do. You can print a file directly from here using this button. You can open this document, like an example in Docs to Go, if you wanted to edit it. So if you ever need to get to a file and you want to edit it, this is the button you need to go to figure out where you want to open that file up. So again, quickly in summary, basically the Dropbox application on your iPad primarily functions the same way as your Windows Explorer would. It's a great way to look through your files, to move files, to delete files, to send files. You cannot edit files within this Dropbox application, but everything else you can pretty much do. Okay, so the last thing we're going to take a look at in this video is basically we're going to create a file on our PC. We're going to save it into the Dropbox folder, and I'm going to show you how it shows up in your Dropbox application on your iPad. I want to show you basically how that centralized system works. So if you save or create a file on one computing system, it will show up on the other using Dropbox. So go ahead and let's just open up Word for this example. If you want to follow along, you can, or you can just watch this video as well to see the example. So we'll just simply type, "This is the test of the Dropbox system." All right. So we've created a file, and we're going to go ahead and save that on our computer. We'll save as. We're going to go and find the location where to save this file. Go into your Dropbox. Okay, we're going to choose Stryker here. You can choose any file setting you want. Basically, it works like any other file structure on your computer, but just has to be in this Dropbox folder. For me, I've created a Stryker folder, and we're going to simply create this. We're not going to put it in a folder, we're just going to put it in the Dropbox itself. And we'll call this Dropbox Test. And we'll save it. So we've saved this file into Dropbox. The next thing we need to do is look at it on our iPad to show you how the file syncs over. Okay, so now that we've taken a look and we've created that file and saved it on our computer, and we saved it into the Dropbox file, I'm going to now show you in the Dropbox application where that file is. So remember, we saved it in Dropbox under the Stryker folder, just right there in that folder. So we'll open up Dropbox again, go to your Stryker folder, and as you can see, here's the file we just saved, Dropbox Test. This is a test of the Dropbox system. So guys, it's as easy as that. You save a file anywhere into Dropbox, it will show up on any computer you have that you've installed either Dropbox on or the Dropbox app in. So we'll take it one step further. We're going to review this more in further videos. But for example, in Docs to Go, which is basically a document editing application, we can go, because I have Dropbox set up in this application, we're going to go find that same file in the Dropbox folder. Dropbox Test, there it is. We see it, we'll open it up. And guys, there it is. This is a test of the Dropbox system, and this is where you can start editing files. Save this file. Quick demonstration, simple, just to show you how other applications use Dropbox as well to, again, edit files where the Dropbox app only shows you the file. So we'll get into this Docs to Go app in a different video, but just a quick example for you.